very, thank you, honey. Actually, you want to hear a funny story? First, you want to hear a funny story. You see all these sponomics, like poetry, these things from my classroom. Okay, there's a funny story behind that. All right, when Brad and I got married, I ran this by him, and I think he'll mind me telling this. I was trying to think that maybe I didn't want to change my last name. I was thinking, it's 2005, maybe I just want to stay Aaron Lloyd, not Aaron Spinable. And he wasn't having it. He's like, he's like, no, I want you to change your last name. I said, can I hyphenate? No, you're going to change your last name. So, but I found a way to use my name to kind of brand my things I do in my classroom, poetry, sponomics, productions. I'm working on another one now for, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Well, that is not a good crack in the floor. Photography, I don't know where I'm going to go with that. But, thank you, honey. And I'm sorry I made such a big deal about it at the time. I laugh when I see that now because I thought, oh, great, no one's going to, kids aren't going to spell Mrs. Spinaldo. But we made it work. But it's been like I said, it's been a very busy month. And I'm very fortunate to have the help of Elaine Bobo, Margaret Kersey, and Beth McCoy, my principal. They've all been wonderful in helping me get this pulled together, and also to Jennifer Butts, who's going to be helping me out a lot this year in my classroom. She is a wonderful asset to Tomahawk, and her help this year in my classroom is greatly appreciated. What does the state teacher of the year do? I Googled it on the way home from Charleston that day because I was thinking, this is awesome, but what am I going to do with it? So I've been thinking about what I want to do and what I want to accomplish during my year, and I've come up with a couple of things. And one thing that you've heard if you watched my acceptance speech is my Aunt Dawn, who was a teacher for 35 years in Berkeley County and Washington County, Maryland, and is my greatest hero. And her influence on my life, I couldn't be here if it weren't for her. She was a phenomenal person and a phenomenal teacher, and she's gotten 2 shout-outs now from 2 teachers of the year because Beverly Huffmaster was one of her students in her first grade class. So Dawn never got to stand on the stage and meet the President of the United States and address people from across the country, but I want to do something in her honor, something to honor her work and her impact. So something that I want to do, and I don't know how to do this yet, but I will find a way, is I want to establish a scholarship at Shepherd for an education student in her name. I really feel that that's something that she would really appreciate and something that would be a wonderful way to honor her memory. So I have no idea how to do that, but I'll find out. It will happen. Another thing is my YouTube channel. I am a techie. I love computers. I love my phone. I love my camera. That's just my way of connecting, and that is just my way of using what I do and what I know and sharing with other people. So I've established a YouTube channel called Be the Difference West Virginia. I was going to do this regardless whether I became West Virginia Teacher of the Year or not. But I owe it all to Myra Thompson at Citibank, who called me and said, do you want to be in the Apple Harvest Parade? And I was like, oh, yes, I do want to be in Apple Harvest Parade. I was like a 5th grader. And there's so many other teachers that would love to do that, that deserve to be recognized in that way. So I was like, what can I do to make them feel special and make them realize that what they do is just as worthy as what I do in the classroom every day? So being me and liking to use technology, I decided to create a YouTube channel. And what I'm doing is I go around to the schools in Berkeley County. I have covered all the schools in Falling Waters, Hedgesville area, and I'm working on Martinsburg now. And what I'm doing, I've interviewed 2 teachers at each school about why they became teachers, what they do in their classrooms, why they stay in the education profession, what they wish the public understood about education, because sometimes that gets lost in translation. And it's been very well received. I've had a very positive response to it, and I'm looking forward to continuing it, not only in Berkeley County, but I'm hoping that throughout the state, that I'm able to travel and feature other teachers as well. because in Berkeley County we kind of feel that sometimes we're not a part of what goes on in Charleston or what goes on in that part of the state, and sometimes it makes us a little sad, a little disheartened, but it works the same way. We don't always get to see or hear about what goes on in the rest of the state as well. So I'm hoping to use this as a way to feature the educators in West Virginia so that we can see how we are alike and show the world, what we're doing every day that's benefiting students. Another thing that I'm interested in connecting with and supporting this year is the School for the Deaf and Blind in Raleigh. I feel that since I'm here in the Eastern Panhandle, and that is a wonderful school, and what they do for students at that school is very extraordinary and phenomenal, and I really hope that I can in some way work with them and support what they do because I'm so close by, and I'm really hoping to get that set in motion so that I can help them out if they want my help. But really, I just want to let them know that what they do is fantastic. And phew, I can't believe I'm here. This has been probably one of the most amazing months of my life. And Bev Huffmaster was talking about using books to tell me about the places I'll go and the Giving Tree. Well, I would compare this, along with pretty much being a teacher in general, to a book to kind of like Alice in Wonderland. Or Alice in Wonderland, because it's like going down the rabbit hole. There are days when you don't feel like you've got your muchness. Okay, I'm sorry if you don't like Alice in Wonderland and you don't know what I'm talking about. I love Alice in Wonderland. And there are some days, this is before I came through the year, where I could easily imagine 6 things that were impossible for breakfast. And if you read it, it's great. It's one of my favorite books. But there's something else that I think you don't know, many of you may not know, but just like in Alice in Wonderland, I have a Jabberwocky. I have a Jabberwocky. They changed it for me, sorry. But, I have struggled with speaking and anxiety for most of my life. I had my first panic attack when I was 10. And it just set in spiral a lot of angst and a lot of things that I felt were completely out of control in my life. And it's no way to live, and I became consumed with it as a teenager and as a young adult, to the point where I didn't really know what my purpose in life was going to be, or what I could do, or that I was even worthy of doing anything worthwhile. I mean, I was at a very low point in my life as a young adult, and I had a lot of shame, I had a lot of self-doubt because of something inside of me that I couldn't control. But I really wanted to be a teacher, and because of Dawn's influence and having the opportunity to volunteer with the PASS program in Berkeley County, I really decided that regardless of what I was dealing with, I was going to become a teacher. And I know there are some people who oh no, this is bad. But I did it anyway because that's just how I am. I just do things anyway. But sometimes it works out. But it wasn't easy, and I struggled. And it was, my first 2 years of teaching were very hard because I was dealing with a lot of things that were controlling me. That was my monster. That was my thing that I could not shake. And there were times my first couple of years of teaching where I would just turn to the board and I would think, I made a mistake. What am I doing here? How did I get myself into this? In fact, there was a time, my second year of teaching, I was so consumed with panic attacks, I could not drive myself to work. It was that bad. I was at the point where I just thought, what kind of life is this? Who am I going to be? How can I help other people? And I could be here all evening telling you how I got out of that. I've got a wonderful family, and I have a wonderful job, and I have wonderful people that have pulled me out of that. And I'm really hoping that this year I am able to not only be an advocate for teachers and students, but for anybody that has to deal with something that has got a hold of them, that's keeping them from being successful, that's stealing their joy. Because you can't let things like that destroy your life. You've got to find a way out. You've got to break out of it before you get lost and there's no way out. And I'm going to use that kind of segue into something that's universal, whether you have issues with anxiety or panic disorder, and that's fear. Fear is universal. We all have fear. Fear of things, fear of the unknown. And let's face it, education is an angst-ridden profession. We work with children all day long, and children are unpredictable. And there are always changes to education and things that we don't know that are going to occur, or new things. And it's very overwhelming. And you wonder, what am I doing? Is this the right thing? Am I in the right place? You're overwhelmed, it's consuming, and there's a lot of self-doubt, and there's a lot of worry. And I guess there's two things that I want to impress upon you as someone who has dealt with fear in a greater degree. And the one thing is that you're okay. That we get told all the time, we have new changes, we need to do this. We need to look at how we're teaching and what we're saying and what we're doing. But when do you ever get to hear that you're okay the way you are? What you're doing is enough. You do amazing things every day in your classrooms, and that matters, and that's important. You're okay. You are already doing good things in education. That's what I want to get through with my YouTube channel, with featuring teachers across Berkeley County and hopefully West Virginia, is that you're already doing good things. Because when you know that you're doing good things already, you know that you have the platform to go up. You're not down at the bottom. You have something to share, and you're already doing good things, and the only way for you to go is upwards. And the other thing, along with that, is self-control. In education, we're always having new things given to us. We're not doing this anymore. You need to add this. You need to make sure that you include this. And it feels like they're taking everything away from you. You're losing time. You're losing class time. You're having to implement new things, but you have all the control. It is about what you see yourself as being seeing that you are in. I'm sorry. It's about knowing that you have the control to take the new things that are given to you and do the best with them. To use the experiences that you are given, that you already have, for the greater good. You have the control inside of you already. You can take it in the direction you want. So, to those in education and to those that work with students this evening, know, as you'll hear me say a lot this year, you are the difference. You are okay. And most importantly, fear not. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Erin, and congratulations. I think that we all have just seen why we do have the West Virginia State Teacher of the Year here with us. Thank you all for coming tonight. Again, the party's not over. Enjoy the food, and congratulations again to Erin. Thank you.